Hello and welcome to this app tour for the Church on the Hill app. We like to do these app tours because it helps to show you everything that's possible with your church's app because there can be so many things that a church app can do. So you can already see here I'm deep pressing on the app icon on an iOS device, in this case an iPhone 7. But on Android, if you long press on the app icon on a device running Android 8.0 or later, you also have a similar menu, and this will let you dive directly into specific sections of the app. But instead of doing that, I'm going to just go ahead and press the app icon and jump into the app normally. It will take me to the home screen for the Church on the Hill app. And you can see here there's a number of areas you can go to, like events, give, media, and you can see those are all also accessible along the bottom of the screen in the tab bar. But there is an area here, the Find a Small Group area, that is only accessible from the home section. So I'm going to go ahead and press that, and you can see it will take me to a screen where I can find a small group. So note that if you want to use the Find a Small Group section, make sure to access it from the home section of the app. So I'm going to go ahead and press back, and I'm back on the home screen now, and then I'm going to press the events option, the middle tab. The events option takes me to a calendar, which is one of the most powerful sections of the app. So you can see right here for any event, I have the ability to get more information or add to calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and press get more information for the date night fundraiser. And you can see it will just give me additional info for that event, including cost and any other info that's necessary, in this case, including a primary room. So I'm going to press close for that. So that's what the informational button will do in that case when there's just a description for the event. You can see there's also an add to calendar button for every event. And you may be curious, why is there an add to calendar button when I'm looking at the calendar? And that's because the calendar you're looking at here is the calendar within the app. So this is Church on the Hill's calendar. But you also have a personal calendar most likely on your device. If it's an iOS device, it's probably an iCalendar. If you're on an Android device, it's probably a Google Calendar. But this lets you, with a single button press, add that event to your device's calendar. So now I can scroll through this list for my family and go through and select every event that's relevant to me. So I'm going to go ahead and press date night fundraiser, add to calendar, and you can see it's asking for permission to be able to add this event to my calendar. This will only pop up the first time. So it's not like every time you press add to calendar you have to give it permission. I'm going to go ahead and press OK, and you'll see it says, hey, event has been added. So now that's on my personal calendar, and my wife and I share the same iCalendar, so that means that it's been added to her calendar as well. So I can, in a matter of probably less than a minute, scroll through all of the events on here, pressing add to calendar for each event, and then it has synced up the events that are relevant to me onto my calendar. And that's powerful because many times on a church calendar or any type of calendar, you'll have the ability to sync to that calendar, but that gives you all of the events, and there's a good chance that over half those events aren't actually relevant to you. So now you can add the events that are relevant to you. So on top of those two things, the getting more info and adding to calendar, one other really neat thing is you can see on this event on February 11th, which is the preview, there's a register for event button just right there, like sticking out on the main section of the calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and press that, and you can see it takes me right to a page where I can register for the event. In this case, through Planning Center, I scroll down and there's the register button, as well as this image and a description for the event. So I'm going to press back, and you can see on this calendar, if I just start scrolling, you'll soon see here, oh, there's another registerable, there's another registerable. So without pressing the information button, you can already see what events have the ability to register. So you can quickly see if you're looking for something that needs to be registered for or that you want to register for, you can scroll through and it's very obvious which of the events have that ability. But so going back to the preview here, if I press information, you can see there's also a register option there as well as the description for the event. And I'm gonna go through and look at a few more here because you can have other options available to you as well. Here, for instance, in youth service, there's an email address associated with it. Because of that, there's also an email button, and if I press the email button, it will open an email form to that email address, and it will fill out the subject line with it saying contacting about and then whatever the event is. So it automatically fills out the subject line based off of the event. So then all you got to do is just go in, dive in, type whatever your question is or your reason for contacting is, press send, and then in this case I'm not sending, but it will just close the email form then, and you're right back here. So you did everything from within the app. So you can register for events from within the app, you can contact people within the app, and if there's a website for a specific event, let's say there's a website but it's not to register, that can also be accessible from the information button. So for any event, make sure not to forget you can do so much from that information button, and also you can scroll through here and quickly see what events you can register for. So with that, we've covered everything that the event section can do. Let's dive into the media section, and that is the second tab from the right on the bottom. So in the media section, you will find Church on the Hill sermons divided by sermon series here in a list. But before we dive into that, look at the top there. You can see the option to click here to watch live on Sundays at 9, 10:45, and 6 p.m. So I'm going to select that banner right now at the top. So I'm going to touch the banner, and you can see it prompts me saying, hey, join us on Sunday. So right now it is not Sunday, it's actually Friday. So it's telling me, hey, this doesn't work right now. Go ahead and join us on Sunday. So on Sunday, it would push me out to be able to watch that. So this is, note that, and it says click here to watch, but just as a reminder, you can touch that banner, and on Sunday mornings, you can watch live from the app using that banner. So next of all, below that, you can see all of the sermons divided by sermon series. So I believe the Love series only has one message, so I select it, and there is part 1 of the Love series. But some of these series have more than one message. I love the graphic for the Tudes, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And you can see here, we have part 1 through part 4. So you can select any sermon series, and you'll see all of the sermons in that series then. And the top item is always the newest, the bottom item is always the oldest. So they're listed in order from newest to oldest. And then let's go ahead and do part 1. I haven't listened to any of the messages. I want to dive in and start from the start of this series. So now you can see part 1, the Tudes, Church on the Hill, from July 3rd, 2017. So you see I have the ability to listen to audio, and I have an arrow pointing down into a box. So first, let's go ahead and just listen to audio. I select that, and it will take me to the in-app player. And here it will start playing, and you can see that there's a graphic or an animation at the bottom of the screen, and that's an indicator that something is playing. So if I pause now, you'll see that goes away. And if I press play again, it will start back up. So obviously it's fun it's here in the first place, but the really powerful thing about that is if I navigate away from the audio. In many cases in an app where you're playing audio and you navigate away, and it can be difficult to figure how you get back to the player without just backing out of the app and pulling up the dashboard for your phone. So let's go ahead and press the events button, and you can see that that animation is following us throughout the app as I go anywhere in the app. And if I press that, so if I touch the animation at the bottom of the screen, it will take me right back to the audio that's playing regardless of where I am in the app. So that's a really nice, easy way to get back. And if I press pause, audio's not playing, I navigate away, it doesn't follow me anymore because there's no audio playing. So that's a neat way to easily be able to get back to something, if audio, if it's playing within the app. So I'm going to go ahead and press the back button, and next to the listen to audio button, you can see the download button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that, and you'll see it starts downloading, and now it has downloaded that audio. So it says now I can listen offline. So now if I press listen to audio, it is actually playing the downloaded version. If you couldn't tell, it actually loaded way faster. Before we had to wait a few seconds for it to buffer. This time, boom, it was ready right away. So this will make it so, one, it plays a lot faster. I'm going to move my finger along right above that pause button to scrub anywhere. It scrubs right away and starts playing. And that's because it's downloaded, so it doesn't have to actually buffer at all to get anywhere in the message. The other advantage is now at home, you can download while you're on Wi-Fi or wherever you are on Wi-Fi, and then you can go out somewhere and you can be listening to the downloaded version instead of having to stream and use data. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and so now you can see where that download button was next to the listen to audio button. It's now an X, and that's so that we can delete the message. So if I press the X now, it'll say, hey, do you want to delete this? And if you delete it, it doesn't remove it from the app. It deletes it from the downloaded. So you'll just stream if you listen later. It just frees up space on your phone. So I click cancel instead of deleting. I'm going to press, well, actually, let's go back into that. One other thing you can do from this screen is in the top right corner, there's a share button. I'm going to go ahead and press that, and it will take me to where I have all different kinds of options for sharing. I can share on social media, I can share by email and by text. So it gives me the ability, if there's a message I really like that I want to share with people, say on social media, I could press Twitter so I could share it with everyone. But let's say I want to share it with my wife, something's really speaking to me about this message, I could press text and pull up text and then be able to share it that way, all while staying within the app. All right, so let's go back. So now we're back to looking at the main screen for sermons. Now remember, we downloaded the part one for the Tude series. So in the top right corner here on the main media page, you can see a folder. If I press that, it takes me into all of the sermons that I've downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and press this again, and you can see there's part one. Remember, I downloaded only part one. So it will divide your downloaded sermons by sermon series for you. So it'll still categorize them by series, but it'll be the downloaded versions. And from here also, let's say I love to run, so I'm running every day I run and listen to a sermon. So this gets really full for me for the different church apps that I'm using. So a really nice convenient thing is to not have to delete each sermon one by one. And you can see in the top right corner there's a trash can. If I press that, it will offer to delete all of the sermons. So let's say you got 20 sermons here and you want to free up some space, you can just press that trash can there and it will delete every sermon that's downloaded. And like I said, that does not delete the sermons from the app. Like, you'll still be able to access them here. They just aren't actually downloaded to the device, taking up space. So that covers everything you can do with the media section. Last of all, let's dive into the connect section. So I press connect and you can see here are a number of ways that I can connect with Church on the Hill, including social media, the website, and contacting. And the top thing is share your story. So just like with life groups, if I press share your story, this takes me to a page where I can submit a form to share my story. As for the rest of these, if you press Instagram and you have Instagram installed, it will take you right into the Instagram app. And if you don't have it installed, it will take you to Instagram in a web view, so you'll be viewing it on the web. So that way you can view Instagram without having an Instagram account, which is one of the neat things about having an app like this, is you don't have to worry about having to navigate to the account or find anything. You can just go and look at it even if you don't have the account. And the same is the case for Facebook. But the reason that it's neat that it takes you into the app is that gives you the ability to actually interact with posts, which you couldn't do if it didn't take you into the app. You also have the ability to access the website, as you see here. You can email and call all from within the app, so it keeps you within the app to do so. And last of all, you can get directions to Church on the Hill, and that will take you out to the Maps app. Depending on what device you're using, whether iOS or Android, it'll take you to a different Maps app. But you can use that to be able to get directions to the church from wherever you are. So that gives you a great idea of the different things that you can do with the Church on the Hill app. One thing we didn't cover is the Give button, and that will take you out to the giving page so that you can give safely and securely from the app. But I didn't press that because it'll take us right out of the app to do so. So that walks through everything that's possible in the Church on the Hill app. If you want more ideas of what can be done with the FaithLink app, make sure to visit our website at faithlinkapps.com. Have a great day.